morning everybody. It is the 21st of March, which means it's East Anglia Yarn Festival Day 1. I'm only going for the Saturday this year again, and I think like I said last year, live a fair while away from East Anglia Yarn Festival, so it's about a 2-hour drive. So we came up last night and we've stayed in this little cabin that we stayed in last year as well, and it's just, actually there's two, and we stayed in that one last year and then we're in this one this year. And yeah, I love coming back here every year. The view is just astonishing. Let me show you. So the balcony of the little decking area goes straight out onto this farmer's field, and it's just beautiful. But yeah, I thought I'd learn to speak. But yeah, I thought I would take you guys along with me through East Anglia Yarn Festival again this year. If there's something that I learned from last year, it's that the showground itself is quite echoey and loud. So I'm not sure how much talking I will actually do whilst we're in the festival, but I will try and get as much footage as I can whilst we're there. I have signed up to be an official podcaster of East Anglia Yarn Festival again, so I'm going to be going and picking up my lanyard as soon as we get in. I've booked the 10 o'clock slot, which is slightly earlier than last year, so we've got about half hour before we need to leave. But yeah, I thought I'd do some knitting out here before we go, although I have left my knitting inside, so let me just go and grab that. So I bought a fair few things with me this time. So I panic cast on a Stay Toasty scarf by Kutova Kika, which I'm sure is not going to be shown in its best light out here. So this was in the February Tiny Scarf Club colourway from Woolly Mammoth on her Hearth TK. So I grabbed that. And then I realised I needed to kind of like look at the chart for the first couple of repeats, so I haven't really got much done on that. And then I cast on a pair of socks for the car journey up here yesterday, and this is in the Bookworm sock set from Loom. So this is the main colour, and then this is the mini. And I absolutely love this. I got this a little while ago and have been waiting to cast it on, and have been kind of thinking of the best pattern to use it for, and I've actually ended up just going with a completely self-drafted pattern, so it just looks like this. So I've done 10 rounds of 3x1 rib, and then I've just done some sort of 5 round stripes in stockinette, and then I've gone back to 3x1 rib for the main body of the sock, and I thought I'd just do like a ribbed sock for the rest of it, because then it's just easy breezy. I can take these with me on the journey there and maybe knit on some whilst we sit down and have a cake or something whilst we're in the festival. And then my main project, I actually have just cast off a load of things, mainly what I'm wearing, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But I have actually cast on a jumper for my husband. So this is the start of a loon sweater, and I am using Santa's Gun Peer Gynt tweed in 8085, which I think is just green tweed. Actually, is that the right ball band? Yeah, it is. So 8085, which is their new green tweed, but I absolutely love this. The tweed in it is just so nice. So yeah, I am making my way down the back panel of that. I was going to take this with me, but I think actually it's going to be more annoying to knit on whilst walking around than socks are, so I think they're a better option. So yeah, those are the projects that I bought with me. As for what I'm wearing, so I finished this beginning of this week, so it's Saturday now. I think I finished it on Tuesday, possibly. And this is my version of the loon sweater. So it just looks like this. And I've just shoved it on with a pair of jeans and my Ugg boots, because I also got really cold last year, so I wanted to stay warm. But yeah, this is what I'm wearing. I also knit this up in Santa's Gun Peer Gynt in the Tutti Frutti tweed, and then the green is what is it? The green is Filcanana Peruvian Highland wool in the colour Time, which is left over from my wave sweater, which is actually what I was knitting on this time last year when I came to East Anglia Yarn Festival. So yeah, that is what I've got on my needles at the moment and what I'm wearing. Should we go and look at some lovely yarn? Good morning, everybody. It is the next day. I had intended to film this last night, but not last night, but yesterday when we got back from the show. But to be honest, I was very, very tired. I think I always underestimate how kind of overwhelming a yarn show is. Like, you go in and it's very, very busy, especially on the Saturday. But it was really, really lovely. It was so nice to see so many people, so nice to meet up with some of my friends and go and squish all of the yarn. And I did, of course, make some purchases. And I also made some progress on my knitting last night. After we got back from going to get some dinner, I sat down and I made some progress on my husband's loon sweater. So we should soon have matching loons. So I managed to get all of the back panel done, and I've just done the first, like, these two stripes here, and I'm ready to start doing the actual loon motif on the back. So I should be able to get that done hopefully over the next couple of days, and you should be able to see that in the next podcast. I do realise that the podcasts and all of my scheduling has kind of gone out of the window, and I'll talk about that another time. But yeah, it's just everything's been a bit chaotic recently, so we're just kind of rolling with it. But I also made some progress on my Stay Toasty scarf. So I think I was probably about here. I'd just done the first repeat of the increases. And so I've done quite a lot of progress on that as well. And this yarn is just so squishy. It's looking a little bit gapey at the moment, but I think it is one of those ones that's really, really gonna bloom once it's been blocked. And I think it's gonna be a really lovely addition to my little scarf collection. I did see that the April Tiny Scarf Club has released, so I might purchase that as well. I think it's for the no, it's not for the Uma scarf, it's for the Versa scarf, I think. I'll pop a picture of it up here. But yeah, I think I might purchase that, although I did just do some damage to my bank account at East Anglia Yarn Festival. So should we delve into my purchases? Because I was a podcaster, like an official podcaster, I did go and pick up my lanyard straight away, which is here. And that did also mean that I was very lucky to receive a goodie bag from some of the vendors at the show. But I will show those after I've shown the things that I actually purchased, because I think that they're at the bottom of the bag anyway. So yeah, in no order, I popped into WeQ Yarns and grabbed a new cable for my Chalgu needle set, because I feel like I've reached the point where the ones that I use the most often, mainly like the 35 centimetre ones, I managed to snap the ends off of them because they've been used so much. So I grabbed another one just to replace those. And then I went to the Crafty Bird because my daughter's muscle bra, which I think I have shown on here a couple of times when I knit it the first time and the second time because she lost one of them. She requested a pom-pom for the top of it, and I know that the Crafty Bird does some really beautiful pom-poms, and so I thought I must go there to go and grab her a pom-pom for this hat. And I have already shown it to her and she has fully approved it, but it's just this rainbow pom-pom. I think this is going to be so cute on the top of her rainbow muscle bra, and I really like the fact that they've got like a bit of yarn to like tie them on, so I can take it off to wash the hat if I need to, or I can put it on the other side if she wants it on the other side, because her muscle bra, I have sewn the two crowns together so that it doesn't come undone while she's at school and then she finds it difficult to put it back together. So yeah, I grabbed this. It's so soft. It's the softest pom-pom I have ever felt. But yeah, it's just all rainbow and it's just so fluffy, and I think she's going to absolutely love it. So yeah, this was from the Crafty Bird. Would definitely recommend if you're looking for a pom-pom. They are so soft and fluffy, and really high quality. So that was what I grabbed from there. And then I also went to Second City Yarns. I went and squished a lot of their yarn last year, and I was really intrigued by their no nylon sock. And I've been wanting to knit a pair of no nylon socks for a good while. And so I decided I was going to grab some whilst I was at the show instead of having to order it online. And so I picked up one skein of their 100% non-superwash BFL 4-ply. So you get 350 metres per 100 grams, and this is the colour Hurst Street. And one of the things I really love about Second City yarns is that all of their colours and everything are inspired by different places and things to do with Birmingham, which I thought was really fun. So this is Hurst Street, and I absolutely love it. I love that this is like the perfect like muted rainbow, so I think this is going to be a really beautiful pair of socks, and I kind of want to use these as like my test pair of non-superwash socks, and if they hold up just as well as my other ones, then I think I'll definitely be heading back to go and pick up more of their yarns. My husband did see a couple of colourways that he liked as well, so that's what I grabbed from Second City. It was quite nice going back to East Anglia and there being quite a few vendors that were there last year as well, because it meant that I could at least make a bit more of an informed decision. I do kind of feel a lot of overwhelm, like I say, when I go to shows to purchase things whilst I'm there, but actually I think the most beneficial thing of going is just being able to like feel all the yarn and see the colourways in person. And then if I do later want to order yarn, I kind of know what I'm buying. But yeah, I also grabbed a couple of skeins from Mothy and the Squid, who I'd not seen before. They were new this year to East Anglia Yarn Festival, and absolutely exquisite colourways. So I grabbed 2 skeins of sock yarn. These both are on their 75% merino, 25% nylon base. It's a superwash sock yarn, and you get 420 metres to 100 grams. So they're slightly thinner than my usual 400 to 100. But this is the first one that I grabbed, and this was just one of their regular colourways called Horse Chestnut. And the speckles in this are just insane. They're beautiful. Like, there's so many. And I just really loved like the clusters of speckles and the like blocks of variegation. I think this is going to knit up to be a really beautiful pair of socks. And I'm pretty sure these are just going to be vanilla because the yarn just needs to be able to shine. Or perhaps a pair of like, you know, the socks by Summer Lee, the mermaid ones. I think I might have found a good yarn for that pattern. But yeah, I just absolutely loved the blend of colours. I think it's really autumnal, but also quite springy. And yeah, just absolutely beautiful colourway. So that is, where is it? So yeah, so that is Horse Chestnut from Mothy and the Squid. And then the second skein that I grabbed was a show colourway, I believe, and this is just called Rose Hip, and it's just the most beautiful red. I've really been looking for a really sort of bright, vibrant red. I have got a red of Cascade Heritage in my stash at home, but this just is like the most perfect, super duper bright red. And I have a couple of ideas for this, but I've not settled on anything like 100% yet. But I think this is going to be a really stunning pair of socks. So that was what I grabbed from Mothy and the Squid. I also got a couple of skeins from, oh gosh, I've put the bag just slightly too far away. I also grabbed a couple of skeins from Hannah at the Corner of Craft. So they're both on different bases, but they're both from the Stardew Valley collection, which I was eyeing up the first time she did. And I was really hoping that she was going to bring it back for this year, and she did. So the first thing I picked up was a skein of Void Egg on her sturdy sock base, which is 75% superwash BFL, 25% nylon, 425 metres per 100 grams. And this is going to be a pair of socks for my husband, and it's just, he picked this out. It's 100% his colour palette. It's a lovely sort of like mid-grey with like bits of red and black in there, and fully encompasses the Void Egg. I'll see if I can get a reference of the Void Eggs. Pretty sure I should be able to. It's Stardew Valley. But yeah, absolutely love this. Probably going to be vanilla socks, or maybe something striped, maybe something with a little bit of texture. I'm not quite sure, but definitely right up my husband's street. And then I also picked up a skein on her Sparkle sock base, which is a 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% lurex. And this is slightly different to other Sparkle sock bases that I've used, because this is like the the sparkle is like spun into the yarn and not like sort of sticking out like the stellina that I've used previously. So I think this is going to hold itself together really, really well, and the sparkles aren't going to kind of like come off and everything. So this is the travelling cart colourway, and I thought what I could do with this is make a little scarf for my daughter for the autumn winter coming up and just make it over the summer. I might make her another Stay Toasty scarf to match my one, or perhaps even like a pressed flowers like my one, so that she has something to wear in the autumn winter to go with her rainbow pom-pom hat. I think that'll be a really nice set that kind of matches but doesn't match. So yeah, grabbed that for her. And then I grabbed one sweater's quantity. So I went to East Anglia with the thought of I might pick up a quantity for a vest, and I might pick up enough to, if I see something that I really, really loved, enough to make a Vivi cardigan by Sari Nordland, which has been on my to knit list for so long, and I've decided that this year I'm actually just going to knit it. And I really wanted something that was going to be quite neutral, something kind of along the lines of this Tutti Frutti tweed by Sanez Garn, but I didn't want to just buy another sweater's quantity of this yarn. I wanted to get something different, and I wanted to try maybe a different base if I could find anything. And I last second picked up 6 skeins from the Folklore Yarns stall of their Don Eagle yarn. So this is called Wildflower, and it's like a pinky cream base with all of these different colours. It's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of that colourway from Noro that everybody, the Noro Madara. It kind of reminds me of that. But I think because it's on a cream base and it has all of these speckles, I don't think it's going to be too busy for the cables in the Vivi cardigan. I think it should still let them shine. And I've always thought that a tweed and a cable go so well together. So I'm going to obviously need to swatch, but I think that this is going to be a really, really lovely cardigan to wear. And I really wanted something that was going to be a bit more of a bright neutral, because I have a grey jacket number 1. And then I've got my Stripe Overload cardigan and my Daft Days cardigan, and they're kind of all I have in the way of cardigans at the moment. And I wanted something that was going to be a bit more like a jacket that I can chuck on in like the autumn and the spring a little bit easier, but also wear done up in the winter. And I think this is going to be the perfect match. And this is, I thought this was going to be really rustic and quite scratchy, but it's not. It's really, really soft. It's a bit more of a single ply than anything I've used before, so hopefully it does give me some good stitch definition. But yeah, I'm really excited to get this cast on. So I got 6 skeins of this, and there are, so it's 100 grams, and you get, how much do you get? Let's see if I've got one that's got it on the, you get 160 meters. So I might be playing a little bit of yarn chicken, but I'm hoping that there's enough leeway in the pattern that I should have enough, but hopefully fine. So yeah, that is what I grabbed from Folklore Yarns. Would definitely recommend. They had loads of really lovely selections on their stand. So that was everything that I purchased myself. Now, because I was an official podcaster of the event, like last year, there was a goodie bag that was given out to some of the podcasters, and I was very lucky to receive one. I'm under no obligation to talk about anything that I received in this goodie bag, but I wanted to show some of the things that were put in here by the vendors, because unfortunately I'm not able to purchase from everybody whilst I'm there. So there were a couple of mini skeins, one from Blue Fern Yarns, this absolutely lovely DK weight pink, which is the 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and you get 45 meters per 20 grams in here. This is such a lovely like salmon pink, and I have some DK socks that I want to knit up, so I'm hoping that I can use this as a contrast. And then there was also a little mini fade set from the Little Grey Girl. I think I'm probably going to use these to knit something up for my husband. They're very much his colour palette. And I think there's a little thing of wool wash in the back here, which is really generous. So yeah, I can't wait to get going on making something out of these, because I've not used any yarn from the Little Grey Girl, but I've always been tempted. She also does some beautiful project bags. And then also got a little mini skein from Little Lycac. I think that's how you say it. They were new there this year and they had some absolutely beautiful hand-dyed yarn. So there was this little mini skein in there from them. This is such a lovely like mermaid blue, pink, variegated mini skein. And then there's this super cute little gnome project stitch marker on there, which I'm sure will come in handy at some point. There was also a pen in this little bag from them, but I've left it inside, which I'm sure I will show you at some point. And then we also got some stickers, and there was also a pattern code from Tea Cake Make. And of course there's a tea bag in there as well, because you can't have something from Tea Cake Make without a tea bag in there. There were a couple of patterns. So this is one of the patterns from Alex Collins, the Everyday Diamond Socks. And I'm considering making these socks with this yarn. But instead of doing a shorty version, doing a longer version. I think they could be a really nice match. So that was very generous of them as well. Also from Alex Collins, we got a little notebook. Always love a little notebook, never without one. And we also received this beautiful pouch and one of the key rings to go with it so they match, which is beautiful. I've just popped this on my sock project bag so it was just a little bit easier to carry. And this was from Josie Rose, who had the most beautiful project bag. Like, she had loads of beautiful tie-dye, really beautiful fabrics. This is so well made as well, like just the way that the zipper goes into the seam like that. It's just really beautiful. So I can't wait to get using this. I've got a couple of notions and things that I can pop in there. And then we also received a beaded stitch marker from Hannah at Corner of Craft, so this little blackberry. And this is just an absolutely stunning beaded stitch marker. She hand beads these all herself, and yeah, it's just baffles me that someone has actually made this. It's just so beautiful. So yeah, would definitely recommend, if you are in the market for some more stitch markers, picking some of the beaded ones up from Hannah. They are just absolutely beautiful. And then the final thing was a little enamel pin from Patch Fabric. Now, I absolutely love bees, so I'm very, very happy with that as well. But I probably will have to battle with my daughter to be able to keep it. So that was everything that I got from East Anglia Yarn Festival this year. We've had such a lovely weekend. We've had beautiful weather again. Oh, there's a heron over there. Sorry, I'm pretty sure I've shown you this, but this is the view out the back of our cabin. So it backs onto a farm, and we've been out here. I think I've probably put in some footage from the drone, but yeah, we've been out here looking at the deer. We came and looked at the stars last night. The farm is out there, and oh my God, there are so many seagulls. And yeah, I just love coming up here every year. I'm sure we'll be back again next year. So yeah, I hope this vlog has been somewhat cohesive, and I managed to get enough footage whilst I was at the show. Like I say, it was quite busy. It was much busier than it was last year. And so sometimes it's quite difficult filming at these things and trying not to just get like people's backs, and lots of people don't necessarily want to be in the vlog. But hopefully I've done it in a way that is somewhat entertaining, and shows off some of the beautiful yarns and everything that were there. So yeah, but yeah, I think I'm just waffling now, so I'm going to wrap this up. If you were at the show, then please do let me know what you came home with, or what you kind of wish you came home with. That would be really lovely to know. And I will catch up with you all in the next video.